Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm in West Bromwich, and today what I'm going to do is take you around some of the listed buildings that are in and around the high street of West Bromwich. We've got a fair few listed buildings actually, but I'm only going to cover the ones that are around the high street, and as for the other ones that are not in and around the high street, I'll cover them another day. So let's go and have a look and see where all these listed buildings are. And I'll tell you what, the last couple are going to surprise you. Right, the first building we're going to take a look at today is the Farley Clock Tower. This is a Grade 2 listed building, and it was made Grade 2 listed on the 29th of September of 1987. This clock was given to the council on October the 27th, 1897. It was built by public subscription, which allowed the people of the town of West Bromwich to show their appreciation for the services of Reuben Farley, who had served the borough for 48 years. The clock itself is made of red brick and terracotta. There are some relief panels with lots of inscriptions around it relating to Reuben Farley. But here it is, it's in Carter's Green. Okay, that's our first one. Let's go and check out number 2. Our next listed building on our list is this place. It's called Highfields. It was given a Grade 2 listing on the 4th of December 1985. It used to be 4 large houses. They was turned into offices, and currently this is now being used as the registry offices for marriages, births and deaths. It was built around the 1830s. The grounds also are dedicated to remembrance for those who died in the Holocaust and in World Wars. I think the Gardens of Remembrance were created in the 50s, but I can't be sure about that. But they seem to be well kept. There is a canopy just here where you can get married and have some photographs taken here. I remember when this used to be black, but now, as you can see, it's white. Yeah, so there you go. There's the Highfields house. And of course, the next building to be given Grade 2 listing is the magnificent Town Hall here on the High Street in West Bromwich. It's just undergone some recent renovation. It's had some stone and brickwork repairs, some new timber work, extensive leading work to the dome of the cupola. It's had significant repairs to the roof, and it's had a few internal alterations. It was built in 1874, 1875, and it now has a very new, clean and fresh look. I also noticed when I was walking along here looking for nightlife here in the high street on a recent video, there was some lighting along the top where all the arches are, just underneath the roof line. I don't really know what they do in the town hall these days, as the main duties of Sandwell are now conducted at the Oldbury Council House. But the brickwork does look very, very clean. And it does go back rather extensively along Lodge Road. But anyway, there you go. There was a town hall that was made Grade 2 listing on the 29th of September 1987. And if we do go further along the frontage of the town hall, you'll see a small building, and you look at it and you think, does that belong to the town hall? But in fact it used to be the library. Just here you can see this bit here attached, if you like, to the town hall. That used to be the public library, up until around about 1907. Yeah, but you can see it looks really clean and fresh on the outside now. Our next grade 2 listed building is this one. It's called the Central Public Library. It's been here since 1907. It was in fact a gift given to the borough by the Scottish philanthropist Arthur Andrew Carnegie. Next to the entrance hall, just about there's like a foundation stone which you can hardly read. It's just undergone some extensive renovation, and you can see how clean and fresh it looks from the outside. I'd have thought they'd have retouched that stone up a bit because you can hardly read it. Prior to this building here, there used to be an indoor market hall, but it proved so unpopular they knocked it all down in 1905 and moved the indoor market hall down to the high street, down the bottom end. There you go then, that's our listed building, which was given listed status on the 29th of September 1987. Okay, let's go and find our next listed building. The next listed building we have for you here is on the high street. This was given grade 2 listed status on the 17th of November 1986. And what it is, we got the Barclays Bank running right up to where that white car is there. Those are the 2 listed buildings that were made listed in 17th of November 1986. One of them, of course, you can see is now the Barclays Bank on the end, and the other one is the HRS Family Law Solicitors. Not sure if anything's been done in this particular building, but all these buildings look an absolute disgrace. There's plaster coming off the walls, there's vegetation growing out of the windows, and also in the guttering, as you can see at the top. They do look a very poor state of disrepair at the moment. I don't know what the landlords are doing, but they aren't doing nothing for the major upkeep of these fine buildings. They were built in around about the mid-1850s. I think they've always been offices. Don't really know. But anyway, they do need some special attention, that's for sure. The next one on the list is this one, number 319 High Street. Given grade 2 listed status on the 29th of September 1987. Again, it was one of these buildings that was created in the 1850s. Probably again it was offices, but you can see it's got a shop front here. That was added in the early 20th century, but I've never known it as a shop. I've never seen it open, but it has certainly got a shop front added to it. Again, as you can see, it's not in a very good order. Now if you look up, you can see the window open at the top there, and there are pigeons roosting in that very floor up there at the top of the building. These are buildings of historical interest. The 315, the 317 and the 319. And just look at the state of them. They're a disgrace to the high street of West Bromwich. Okay, let's go and find our next listed building. Right, the next one on our list is just off the high street on Lombard Street, and it's the Law Courts, given grade 2 listing status on the 29th of September 1987. Again, a building that's in a real poor state now. The blue wooden doors there look as though they're rotting. It does look well secured anyway from the front. There's bars on the windows. And you can still see on there it says the West Bromwich Magistrates Courts, and you can actually see the date at the top of the building there. It says 1890 when it was built. And a very impressive building. The last case heard here at these Law Courts was in December of 2009. But it was officially closed down in April of 2010. and it has had, somebody did move into it for a time. I think somebody called Zombie Enterprises. They used to run some ghost tours here for a time, but they had to move out because there was too many problems with repairs, leaking roofs, and the landlords just didn't want to get it fixed, so they moved out. And in 2022 the police actually found 2,000 cannabis plants growing in here, but so far there's been no takers for the building, and it's just been standing here now for 15 years since the last case was heard. Our next building is this one. It's called the Ryland Memorial School of Art. It was opened in 1902. It was given Grade 2 listing status on the 6th of June year 2000. And it's a fine building. It's got all those sculptures you can see above the green door. You'll have to zoom in a little and you can see it in a bit more detail. And I don't know when it was last used as a school of art. It's now a British Islamic school. But I believe it might have been in the 70s up to the 60s maybe it was still being used, but in the 70s I do understand it was being used as part of storage facilities for the Sandwell College that used to be on the high street. That's now been long demolished. So there you go, there's the Ryland Memorial School of Art, Grade 2 listed building, got red brick and a nice slate roof, but it does look as though it needs a little bit of TLC on the front now. Okay, so there you go, let's go and find our next one. Our next Grade 2 listed building is shrouded in scaffolding. Look, as you can see, it was made, this is the offices of the former printing works of Kenrick and Jefferson. These were all their offices, and it was made Grade 2 in 29th of September 1987. There's plans afoot at the moment to turn it into some shops and apartments, ground floor shops and 14 apartments, I understand. They can't do a great deal from the front, but they can make internal modifications because it being Grade 2. Obviously then they should be keeping that clock which is up there as well. But this was actually built in 1883, and I think it stopped being a printers in 2003. Can't be sure on that date, but sadly it is no more, and it's going to be shops and apartments eventually. Our next listed building is here on the corner of St Michael Street and the High Street, and its official title is the Church of St Michael and the Holy Angels. It was made Grade 2 listed on the 1st of August 1974, and it's been a Roman Catholic church since 1875 when it was built. But the spire wasn't added then. The actual tower was added in 1911. But it's a fine looking building, and it's graced the High Street since 1911 with its spire. So it's been well over 100 years, and it's been standing there in all its glory. Yeah, next listed building is this one. It's called the Drinking Fountain and Canopy, given Grade 2 listed status on the 18th of June 1987. It's built in 1885 in cast iron. It's got some lettering inside the canopy saying in loving memory of Elizabeth Farley, who was Reuben Farley's mother. Reuben Farley was the one who gave this fountain to the borough, and in 1987 it was moved from Dartmouth Park, where it originally was, and moved here. And this area was actually called Farley Centre, I think. I'm not sure if it's called that anymore. It's more like the Princess Parade now. But it used to have also a glass canopy that would stretch from this building just around here, and it would go over the top of the canopy, but that was removed. It's also a different colours painting. I don't know if this was the original painting of the canopy and fountain. It could very well have been, but I'm sure it's had different coloured schemes prior to this one. And also, I'm sure this canopy, I know it's been moved here, but I think it used to be further over there, then it was moved here, but I couldn't be 100%. This one, the pedestal clock here in Dartmouth Square. Grade 2 listed status on the 29th of September 1987. Again, it was erected in 1912, and again it's made in cast iron, and it was presented to the borough by the mayor at the time, Archibald Kenrick, in 1912. Again, it's one of these structures that keep being moved. It used to be just over there. That used to be in the middle of the road on a small island before it was moved here. It was here originally, or if it wasn't just there, maybe it was a bit further over here. But now this is its site. How long will it be before this pedestal clock gets moved again? The final listed building, or building shall we say, because this is going to surprise you. I did say it would. But you see this telephone box? And it's outside what was the old post office. But here, it wasn't the old post office that's listed. It's actually this telephone box. It's a 1935 K6 cast iron telephone box with the crown embossed on the top. Above there on the top is a domed roof. 1936, when they was constructed and built in various places throughout the country. This was known as a Jubilee kiosk because they were built to commemorate the Silver Jubilee of King George V. And actually this was probably the first telephone boxes to be used extensively outside of London. It's has a height of 8'3" tall and weighs 13.5 hundredweight in the old imperial measurements. It has 8 rows of 3 panes of glass, and the designer was Sir Giles Gilbert Scott. It was said that by the 1980s there were 73,000 of these boxes constructed throughout the country. Yeah, but this one, frankly, is in a very poor state. I mean, look, there's a pane of glass missing. And let's look inside, and it's just full of rubbish. I don't know if the door can open. Yeah, you can see all the rubbish in here, and it doesn't work, which I didn't expect it to work actually. It's very rare that these boxes work now, the K6 ones especially. But it's in a very poor state. For a listed building, you'd have thought they'd have keep it tidy, clean it up, and put the panel of glass back in. But anyway, if you think that's surprising, let's go and find something else that's equally surprising as a listed building here in West Bromwich. Yeah, just over the road, in between the public library and the town hall, there's 2 more telephone boxes. And yes, they are grade 2 listed. Would you believe it, eh? And again, they're K6 telephone boxes, designed in 1935 by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott. They're not in a very good red colour, are they? The paint is fading, and the colour, the typical red colour, is officially called currant red. Currant, named after the fruit. Again, it's the same design as the telephone box, which I'll show you again just over there, opposite the post office. And yeah, it's a pair of telephone boxes here, and they were made grade 2 listed on the 7th of March 1986. Let's go and try them, see if they open. No, they're welded shut. and I would imagine that the other one is welded shut also. Yeah, welded shut. You can't get in those, but you can certainly get in the one over the road where you can throw your rubbish in. A very poor showing for a grade 2 listed building, that. There's all the listed buildings and structures that we have here in and around the High Street in West Bromwich. Some of them are an absolute disgrace really, especially the 315, 317, 319 High Street buildings. They are really in a very, very poor state, and they really need to be, something really needs to be done about them. I think I've covered all the listed buildings around here, but let me know if I've missed any out. But there are, of course, other listed buildings that are not on the High Street or around the High Street. They're a bit further afield, such as the Sandwell Arch up at the motorway island behind me. I'll be covering all those in a future video. So anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.